Hi everyone. So today we'll be understanding the concept of relative speed and that too in opposite direction in this video. So first thing that we need to understand is ki bhai, what do you mean by relative speed? So when two bodies are in motion, right? When two bodies are in motion, the effective speed generated is known as relative speed, right? Now, relative speed is taken into two aspects. First, when the two bodies are moving into opposite direction, a different concept is applied. And when the two bodies are moving into the same direction, right? So in this video, we are only going to talk about the relative speed in opposite direction, and we'll be having another video for solving it in same direction, right? Now let's try and understand the concept, because we at CATWay believe that if the concept is clear, no matter what the difficulty level of the question is, you will be able to solve it, right? So let's understand कि भाई opposite direction relative speed का concept होता क्या है, right? Opposite direction. So let's say कि there are two people, right? There are two people and the distance between them is 100 meters, right? A is over here, B is over here, right? Let's say that the speed of A is 5 meters per second, whereas the speed of B is 15 meters per second, right? This is the initial speeds that they have. They both are starting at the same time. So currently the distance between them, as you can see, is at 0 second mark. Let's assume that currently we are sitting into the 0 second mark. So at the 0 second mark, the distance between them is 100 meters, right? Now, after 1 second, what will be the position of A? So 1 second has gone and A has moved 5 meters, right? This is the distance that A has moved. Now A is over here, right? And in the similar 1 second, B also has moved for 15 meters, right? Now the position of B is this, right? So from that 100-meter mark, right, from here to here, which was 100 meters, now the distance between them is this value, right? So what is the gap left? So 5 meters has been covered by A and 15 meters has been covered by B. So in total, 20 meters of gap has vanished, right? So after 1 second, the gap between them is effectively 80 meters. Although A only traveled for 5 meters, B only traveled for 15 meters, but the effective difference between the distance that they had has come down by 20 meters, and now the distance is only 80 meters. Now, why is this happening? Because see, both of them are together moving, right? So both of them are cutting off the distance between them in their own way, right? So one is cutting it in by 15 meters and one is cutting it by 5 meters, right? And that is why effectively 20 meters is being cut off, right? So this effective uh, speed with which the distance is getting, or the effective value by which the distance is getting diminished, right? That will be your speed, because speed is what? Distance traveled per unit of time, right? And that is where that is what the concept of relative speed is, that when two bodies who are coming from opposite directions, the total distance that they are covering between themselves is the summation of speeds of both the person, right? So opposite direction के case में the relative speed will be, relative speed in case of opposite direction is always equal to sum of speeds of two people, right? Sum of speeds of both bodies, let's say, that would be a better term. So sum of speeds of both bodies. And in our case, it is what? It is going to be 20 meters per second. So the relative speed is simply a addition to the concept of speed, because here two bodies have come into motion. Now, if the question is that in how much time are they going to meet? So the very simple way, how do we calculate timing? Timing is equal to distance upon speed. The distance in our case currently is 100 meters at the start, and speed, because two bodies are in motion, this simply becomes relative speed, and because they are in opposite direction, the relative speed will be the sum of speeds that we have already calculated as 20 meters per second. And the timing taken in that case would be 5 seconds. So at the end of 5 seconds, both A and B will meet each other, right? So hope this part is clear. Now let's solve a few questions. There will be two questions which I want you to solve. So you should pause the video, try and solve the set, and then look at the solution. So what do we have? That there are two people. Person A starts from X towards Y and person B starts from Y towards X. Speed of A is 20 kmph and speed of B is 30 kmph. Distance between AB is 250 kilometers. At what distance from X will the two people meet? Right? So let's say this is the track that we have. It's of 250 meters. Person A with a speed of 20 starting from here and person B with a speed of 30 is starting from here. Right? Now, because this is X, this is Y, A is moving towards Y and B is moving towards Z, X. So we know that they are moving in opposite direction. Now, since they are moving in opposite direction, the relative speed for us will be the summation of speeds, that is 20 plus 30, which is equal to 50 kilometers per hour. Now the timing we need to calculate that in how much time will they meet, right? So 250 kilometers of distance is there, which has to be covered with a speed of 50 kilometers per hour. So the time they are going to take is 5 hours, right? Now, at what distance from X will they meet, right? So at what distance from X will they meet? A simple way is that you calculate that in 5 hours when they meet. So from the start in 5 hours they meet. So in 5 hours, what is the distance that A has traveled? So we know the speed of A is 20 and in 5 hours A would have traveled 100 kilometers, right? So A would be somewhere over here. After 5 hours, let's say this is 100 kilometers, right? So A is somewhere over here, B is also somewhere over here, right? Exactly at the same position. So at what distance from X do they meet? They meet at a distance of 100 kilometers. So the correct answer would be 100 kilometers. And we have one more question. Again, you should pause the video and then solve and check the solution. So it's a very similar question with a very slight change. So we have that person A starts from X towards Y at 6 a.m. and person B starts from Y towards X at 9 a.m. Right? So that's the twist in this question. So let's try the same thing. What do we have? So we have X and Y, which are 250 kilometers apart. We know that A is starting from this position with a speed of 20 and B is starting from this position with a speed of 30. But the catch is that A started at 6 a.m. whereas B started at 9 a.m. So we know for the first 3 hours, B is still at the position of Y and A is moving alone. That means for the first 3 hours, that is from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., there is only one body in motion. So the speed of only that body will be considered. So first thing that we need to calculate is that from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., what is the distance that A would have traveled, so that we know that what is the gap between them before both the bodies have come into motion, right? So what we'll be doing is that we'll be calculating for 3 hours, A will have traveled 60 kilometers. So let's say A has traveled 60 kilometers. This is the 60 kilometer mark, let's say. So at 9 a.m., A is standing over here. Now from 9 a.m. onwards, both the bodies are in motion. And what we know is that now, because out of 250 kilometers, A has already covered 60 kilometers. So the effective gap between them is left out to be 190 kilometers, right? And this 190 kilometers will now both the bodies are in motion. So they will be covered with the relative speed of what? The summation of both the speeds, that is 20 plus 30, 50. Right? So how much time will they take? They will take another 3.8 hours. Right? So at what distance from X will they meet? So we know that after 9 o'clock, another 3.8 hours A has to move. Right? So A will move what distance in 3.8 hours? 3.8 multiplied by 20. So A will be moving what? 76 kilometers. Another 76 kilometers A will be traveling. And A had already traveled 60 kilometers. So in total, A would have traveled 136 kilometers before they meet. So the correct answer, that is when will they meet after from X, from the start is going to be 136 kilometer mark is where they meet with each other. So hope the concept of relative speed in opposite direction is clear. Now in the description, you'll also find a Telegram group link wherein you can join, where we'll be sharing all the content over there. And apart from that, you can also check out the course, and we also have some free sectionals available for you. Again, the link has been mentioned into the description, so you can kindly go through that. And yeah, there will be some free tests. You should definitely try those tests. And apart from that, we are also creating a YouTube playlist for time, speed, and distance. So with all the videos that will be related to TSD, you will find over there. So make sure that you subscribe us and not to forget the bell icon so that you can always get the notification about the videos. Thanks for watching.